There's a lot of information that's out there now for anybody who wishes to become informed and learn about what's going on in the world. There's also a lot of information that's perhaps not quite real. However, from our training and understanding, all things exist under the sun, whether they are manifested or unmanifested. It goes along with the lines of where there's smoke, there's fire. So even the fake messages that are being put out there are still under the sun. They're still part of the five sensory experience. Therefore, at either a tangible or an intangible level, they are real. They exist. So it's not about what's real and what isn't. It's about our relationship with the data and the information that is reaching us. As we learn more and more about ourselves, we also learn how ignorant we've been, how we've perhaps been trained through society to just keep your head down, put it in the ground, and don't be aware of certain things. And especially there's a really big push in some of the spiritual movements where we are to stay as far away from darkness as possible. Training we've put our students through over a couple of decades is to embrace the shadow, the darkness, to allow the things in the subconscious to filter up so that they can be cleansed, so that they can be owned, so that they can be dissipated and brought to nothing. For a lot of humanity, that's not the case. The world is a direct reflection of what is in their subconscious, what is in their thoughts, what's in their feelings. It's showing what is in the fear level of people, in their unconscious, in their unspoken shadow realms. It's all coming forward. So for a lot of people that have suppressed years and years and years of darkness or uncomfortable feelings, emotions, hatreds, angers, fears, these are no longer being suppressed anymore. And because they haven't been owned and cleansed out by the average human being, they are now pronouncing themselves on the stage of life, on the world. And still people are choosing rather to not know or to sit on the fence, put their heads in the ground and not take ownership. We have two ways of creating our reality. We're made in the image of God, a God source, a creator. So we are naturally always creating 100% of the time, whether we're awake or whether we're asleep, we're always creating. And we're creating in two ways. We're either creating by allowing it to be created for us by others, or we are becoming more and more conscious and aware that we are creating our reality. Both of those types of creations come with their own sort of characteristics. When we abdicate, we allow someone else to create our reality, tell us what to do, what to take, where to go, who to be, what to think, how to feel, how to act. We're abdicating, we're giving them the opportunity to move our lives, to move our bodies, move our faith, move our thoughts, move our feelings. That's an almighty ignorance, and it has its consequences, which we're seeing in the world today. We have people that are trying to move each of our nations and all the peoples in it. The other side, of course, is just as big. When you decide that you're creating your own reality, you have to take charge of your own thoughts. You have to take charge of your own emotions. And the issue with that is that you become responsible. For most people, they have a really tenuous or not so great or a jaded relationship with responsibility, because responsibility has been taught to the masses to be a burden and has a lot of strange little strings attached to us. True responsibility in the words of the wonderful Lazarus, is the ability to respond. So when we see these images flashing and we see the things going on in the world, our ability to respond harnesses our thoughts. We're keeping our thoughts light, or we're reversing the darkness that we see. Are we choosing to be educated and to learn? Even the shadow stuff, even the stuff that's pretty dark and pretty nasty. We're learning to become aware of what's happening in our world and what has happened literally for thousands of years in our feelings. Are we choosing to create our reality by keeping our feelings as lofty as possible, as joyful as possible? And even if it's just for a moment, that little spark of joy brings about a miracle somewhere in the world, if not in our own lives. The minute we start to take responsibility for our reality, we have to start with self. It's not about running out there. It's about starting with self. You are the beginning point of that. You're the beginning point, the beginning, the alpha of the entire creation of your life. And the buck stops with you, and it starts with you. And if your focus and beginning point is one of fear and darkness, that's going to be the unfoldment of your life. If yours is a beginning or a starting point right now of you being light and choosing daily to see the light, then that'll be the unfoldment of your reality. So you have an almighty choice. No one in this entire scenario on a global level gets to sit on the fence. And if you're not choosing which side of the fence you're on, who you are, making a statement for what you stand for, your convictions, who you are, then it will be made for you, because that is the nature of reality. Think deeply upon this and move forward knowing that you create your reality every day with the frequency or the conditions of your thoughts and your feelings and the actions that you take. Become aware and become strong and become powerful in and of yourself. That's my words for today. Thank you.